Whether you're working on your own music or somebody else's, fixing problems that happen at the tracking stage can save you from having to solve them when you're mixing or mastering that music. And knowing what to listen for and how to clean it up can also help make you a more valuable producer for anyone who wants to bring their track from rough to radio ready. So, in this video, we'll explore all kinds of musical problems that you might encounter, and we'll show you how you can use the tools in the powerful iZotope RX8 standalone application to solve them. Rescuing your rig with guitar denoise. Guitars are incredible instruments, but sometimes the noises that they make, like squeaks, pick sounds, an amp or pickup buzz, can be just as loud, if not louder, than the player and distract from an otherwise powerful performance. And if you don't treat these noises early, they're certain to come up in level when you add compression and other processing during the mixing stage. Using the new guitar denoise module, we'll show you how to tackle these issues. Now first up is squeaks. Squeaks are often welcome in a guitar performance, but sometimes they're just far too loud. Have a listen. Let's use a preset in the guitar denoise module, and we'll hit preview to see if it does the job. We can reduce things even further by increasing the amount of reduction here. And if some squeaks aren't being caught by the module, we can move the sensitivity slider around to catch them. Let's render this and listen to the before and after. If you're happy with the results, you can deselect and press render to attenuate all the squeak noises in the file. In this example, we've got some nasty buzzing noises. Have a listen. To treat the problem, we need to capture the noise profile of the buzz. So I'll make a selection, capture it, and now let's listen back using the preview button. Sounds much better. Let's render and do a quick before and after. Lastly, sometimes pick or pluck sounds can be very harsh. Have a listen here. Let's use a heavier preset and do a quick preview of how that's sounding. Much better. I'll render this out and do a quick before and after. Advanced vocal cleanup with module chain. The module chain is a secret weapon used by professional mix engineers to speed up their workflow in RX. The module chain allows for the processing of multiple modules in a series. You can choose from a variety of factory presets that we made to get started, or configure your own custom chain and save a preset to use again in the future. This section includes options for adding, removing, rearranging, and customizing the processing of a module for the currently added files in the RX standalone application. Now this is a really well-recorded vocal, but there's still some issues. I'm hearing some plosives. These are low-end bumps of air against the microphone's capsule.
A keep will satisfy, but without
And I'm also hearing some mouth clicks.
to rely
So I'm going to create a module chain to solve these problems here and now, and also the next time when I get more tracks from the singer, like a harmony or different takes for a comp. I'll start from scratch though. I'm going to add deplosive first, and I can tweak the settings to make sure that I'm set up for success. And next I'll add mouth declick. Now I'll press render to make RX do all the work for me. I can save this as a preset for the next time the singer sends me a track so I can quickly get their repair work out of the way. Here's before and after.
A keep will satisfy. A keep will satisfy. Old to rely. Old to rely on compassion.
Rebalancing the mix. Music Rebalance leverages an advanced machine learning algorithm that's trained to identify and separate the vocals, bass, and percussion in a busy mix. A tool like Music Rebalance comes in handy in a few different ways. Firstly, this is helpful if you're remastering something and you need to turn the vocals, bass, or drums up or down, but you don't have the original files handy. You can reach into the stereo mix and bring the vocal down a few dB, like this.
'Cause when you come around, I go way far down. I sink ever deeper now, yes, I go low. 'Cause when you come around, I go way far down. I sink ever deeper now, yes, I go low.
Secondly, in some cases, it can also be used to isolate a single mix element, like the lead vocal, by reducing the level of the other three mix elements. And bouncing out stems is simple with Music Rebalance. Just pick a quality, some take longer than others to render, and press separate. Let's have a listen to the results across some stems.
'Cause when you come around, I go way far down. I sink ever deeper now, yes, I go low. 'Cause when you come around, I go way far down.
Simultaneous editing with composite view. Sometimes, a problem can show up in several microphones at once. In iZotope RX8, we've increased the tab limit from 16 to 32 tabs. So this means if you've got a problem showing up across all 32 mics, bring them into the standalone editor and collapse them down using this icon to see them all in one composite view. Now, you can make edits across 32 tracks at once. This is useful if you've got something like a cough or a squeak that's been picked up by many microphones, like in this orchestral recording. Have a listen. I'm going to use a tool called SPECTRAL Repair to target this cough with the attenuate feature. I'll make a selection and press render. As you can see, the edit was made across each microphone in the session. Let's do a before and after. And that's how you remove a problematic sound across 32 microphones simultaneously. Restoring clipped mix elements. The declip module is designed to remove the presence of clipping and restore the waveform to a smoother shape, and it's super easy to use. Once you've loaded your audio into RX, head to the module here. Now, make sure the clipped file is selected. You can use Command or Control A to select the whole file. Now press Suggest. You're basically instructing the module to locate the clipping from the loudness histogram and suggest a threshold automatically. I'll make sure quality is on high and press render. Let's do a before and after. Taming breathy vocals. Singers need to breathe, but sometimes they can breathe sharply or harshly. Have a listen.
I'm
I'm living like an animal. Come make yourself much more comfortable. I'm living like an animal. Now fill my cup with wine.
Using the breath control module, we can control the harshness of those breaths. I'm going to select a preset, then use the preview function to see if I'm targeting and controlling those breaths to my liking.
I'm living like an animal. Come make yourself much more comfortable. I'm living like an animal. Now fill my cup with wine.
If you notice that the module isn't hearing all the breaths, adjust the sensitivity slider. And if you want to control just how far down the breaths are suppressed, use the gain slider. You can do this in preview until you're satisfied with what you're hearing. I'm happy with my settings, so now I'll press render and do a before and after.
I'm living like an animal. Come make yourself much more comfortable. I'm living like an animal. I'm living like an animal. Come make yourself much more comfortable. I'm living like an animal.
Advanced editing with spectral repair. Sometimes, a problematic noise can leak into a microphone and distract the listener from what they're supposed to be focusing on. Like in this example, where a click track is spilled over from the guitar player's headphones into the guitar microphone. Have a listen. It's worth noting that if you have a printed track with the source of the click, you can use a feature we make called debleed. Check out the link above to watch a quick tutorial on how to use that module. Unfortunately, we don't have the original click track, so we'll need to use another tool to solve this problem. And this is where spectral repair comes in handy. I'm going to set up a few things to make my repair work easier. First, I'll turn on instant process mode and select attenuate. More on this in a minute. Now I'll use the brush tool to call up this selection shape. With instant process mode on, using the attenuate mode, I can make a selection over the noises that I want to get rid of, and when I let go of my mouse or trackpad, the attenuate module will process what I've selected. This means I don't need to keep selecting and then pressing render. Think of instant process as a proxy for controlling some of the most helpful modules in RX. Now the attenuate mode in spectral repair removes sounds by comparing the content inside of a selection to the content outside of the selection. Attenuate reduces the spectrogram magnitudes in the selected area to match magnitudes from the surrounding area, and this results in the removal of the sound without leaving an audible gap behind. Think of it as a kind of intelligent copy and paste. So now I'm going to locate the low ticks from the metronome, which appear at around 1000 Hertz. And there's another tick from the metronome a little higher at around 2000 Hertz. Let's get to work. In this section it gets a bit tricky, so here's an advanced technique. If I want to better target the clicks appearing between these guitar notes, all I have to do is press Option or Alt and scroll up with my mouse or on a trackpad, and now we have a better view of the ticks and can remove them more easily. Let's do a before and after, and remember, I want to remove the metronome, not the sound of the drums leaking in a little. Restoring old recordings with WoW and Flutter. In case you need to restore some old vinyl, tapes, or you'd like to sample archival music, you can use the WoW and Flutter module to elegantly correct pitch fluctuations with artifact-free results. Now, just in case you're new to this work, WoW is a slower pitch variation and can sound like this. Flutter is a quicker pitch variation and can sound like this. If you need help identifying where flutter or wow is occurring, press Display Wow or Display Flutter. Enabling this checkbox will render the detected pitch contour of the wow or flutter onto the audio file. Now, no correction will be applied, but the detected pitch variations will be printed as a diagnostic tool. Let's tackle flutter first. I can see from the display that we ordered up that it's happening in this section. So I'll make a selection and hit render. Depending on the content, you might want to render a few times, like a few coats of paint. Let's do a before and after. Now the wow is happening all over this file. It's a slow, detuned sound that's happening across all the strings, so I'll process the whole file with wow. Let's do a before and after. Thank you so much for watching. If you have any other music problems that you're trying to solve, let us know in the comments. And remember, head to iZotope.com to learn more about RX8 and to download your free 30-day trial.